This week's cruise news sees delays and launches, along with one town putting his foot down when it comes to cruisers. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy here with your weekly cruise news roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. This week, we have seen one cruise line finally launch their newest ship after last-minute delays, and another line choose to push back inaugural sailings well in advance. The Sun Princess finally set sail on its maiden voyage Wednesday after 2 last-minute cancellations to what were supposed to be the first sailings. The new 4,300 guest ship embarked on the 10-day Grand Mediterranean cruise round trip from Rome and will make stops in Naples, Crete, Turkey, Athens, Sicily, Mallorca, and Barcelona. Meanwhile, Royal Caribbean let cruisers booked on the first 2 sailings of their next Icon-class ship, the Star of the Seas, know well in advance that they are going to be canceling those sailings due to delays in when they believe the ship will be finished and ready to head to sea. Originally scheduled to launch on August 17, 2025, both the inaugural sailing and the August 24 sailings have been canceled, with booked guests being able to move their booking or cancel and receive a full refund. Now, which do you think is the better way of handling this situation? Should lines cancel well in advance or attempt to push through and hope that they won't need to cancel cruises? At this point, I think that anyone booking an inaugural cruise should assume a few things. 1, it might be canceled. 2, not everything may be finished and ready. And 3, that the crew may not have everything figured out yet. New crew working together on a new ship. When we booked the Carnival Jubilee, we intentionally chose to book a cruise several months after the expected inaugural date, and we were glad we did. What was supposed to be a cruise 3 months into the life of the Jubilee ended up being the 6th sailing, as Carnival had to push back that inaugural cruise 2 months due to supply chain issues. Now, if you were booked on an inaugural cruise, would you rather it be canceled last minute like the Sun Princess or over a year in advance like the Star of the Seas? For me, I would much rather have that extra time so I could go ahead and rebook if I was really wanting to be on an inaugural cruise. Carnival has decided to add a special request item to their St. Patrick's Day menu. Now, John Heald, Carnival's brand ambassador, announced this week that due to people complaining last year about a lack of one traditional St. Paddy's Day meal, all ships would be offering it up this year. He says, "After I was bollocked by a few people last year for not having the traditional boiled beef and cabbage served on the dinner menu, this year we will offer this on all the ships. Please, everyone order it, otherwise the chef will be after me and my dangly bits with a pair of ice tongs." Gotta love John. Well, I think he means corned beef and cabbage, but I digress. Is this something you would be upset about missing if a cruise ship didn't offer it up on St. Patrick's Day? I actually had to look up why this is even a thing. From what I could discover, the dish became popular with Irish immigrants to America in the 19th century as an Americanized version of what they would have eaten in Ireland based on what was affordable and available in their new country. Eating corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day then became a way of remembering and celebrating that Irish heritage. Where I live, the local Catholic churches usually have a fundraiser or social event where they serve corned beef and cabbage on or around March 17th. But we don't have a large Catholic or Irish population in my neck of the woods, so I honestly didn't know this was even a thing until someone invited me to one of these events years ago. Do you eat corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day? If so, would you be upset to find yourself on a cruise that didn't offer it as an option on the menu? Personally, I think that if something like that, especially something that isn't celebrated by most or all of those cruising, is so important to someone, they should probably not book a cruise during that time. It reminds me of those who get super bent out of shape when their sports ball team isn't being shown on the big screen on the Lido during a championship game. Maybe don't book a cruise if it's that important to you. Am I in the minority here, though? Let me know. We have a couple more stories left, but before we get to those, if you enjoy this video and maybe even learn something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future posts. Royal Caribbean's Ultimate World Cruise continues to make headlines. Seriously, has there ever been a more weirdly controversial world cruise? Usually you don't even hear about them. This time, the headlines have little to do with TikTokers and instead focuses on a unique occurrence. Although, I'm sure any TikTokers still on board are going to have something to say about it. Guests on board the Serenade of the Seas were given the opportunity to vote on the next leg of their journey after the original ports had to be abandoned due to conflict in the Red Sea region. After an onboard vote, the company confirmed that the Serenade of the Seas is now taking an alternative itinerary around Africa. The new route includes 18 ports of call in Africa and Europe, sailing from Dubai to Italy via South Africa. The 43-night segment of the Ultimate World Cruise takes place between May 9th and June 20th, 2024. Now, a few weeks ago, we talked about some cruise destinations and ports looking to limit or prevent cruisers from visiting their ports. Well, one of those has finally gotten the go-ahead to severely limit how many cruisers can visit their city. In a long back and forth between those who want the money cruise tourism brings in and those who don't, a federal court has upheld Bar Harbor's decision to limit the daily disembarkation of cruise ship passengers to just 1,000. The judge who ruled in this case said that this cap is a significant reduction, but that it, quote, promotes non-economic interests, end quote, and helps maintain the town's character. Now, while Bar Harbor is definitely a tourist town, it also has a relatively small population, meaning that even one large resort-style ship can almost double the amount of people in town in any day. Bar Harbor currently hosts more than 4 million tourists annually, but I wonder how many of those are actually from cruising and how many are land tourists staying in the many hotels available at Bar Harbor. Now, considering there are very few ships that have less than 1,000 passengers, will likely reduce the number of cruises stopping at Bar Harbor significantly, because I don't know how you have a cruise ship with 3,000 passengers and only allow 1,000 off. I don't know how you would even begin to make that distinction, and I think that's going to be the problem. The question now is what happens to all the cruises that are currently scheduled to stop at Bar Harbor. With over 100 ships planning to make stops during the 2024 cruise season, we may be seeing lots of itinerary changes. The Norwegian Gem, carrying up to 2,394 passengers, is the first ship scheduled to arrive this year on May 2nd, 2024. Always remembering that the New England cruise season is more of a summer and fall schedule because of climate and then people wanting to see that fall foliage. Now, the last ship scheduled to visit Bar Harbor is Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas. That's on October 28, 2024. It has a passenger capacity of over 3,100. Are you booked for a cruise with a scheduled port stop at Bar Harbor this year? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you end up getting some kind of letter saying, hey, we can't go there anymore. I guess if I want to visit, I'll have to do so on land, which means I probably won't be stopping by anytime soon. I hope everyone had a great week and enjoyed their bonus day. I saw someone ask what happens to salaried workers on leap year. Do they get paid for an extra day's work? Now, I doubt it, since they're paid to do a job, not necessarily to do so in a specific set of days or hours. That's the whole point of salary work. Here's a couple of leap year facts for you. Did you know that every leap year is also a presidential election year and the year they host the Summer Olympics? And of course, it's always going to be an even year. Well, I hope you're ready for more information on cruising. Why not stick around and check out the most recent Jubilee video where I go over all the included restaurants on Carnival's newest ship, and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.